guys, what's up? We have a new card to be introduced within the Link Vrains packs, and is here to support the Gem Knights. Alongside this, we will have a list of reprints that support it. This is Gem Knight Phantom Roots. This is an Earth, or as it might be called in the TCG, Gem Knight Phantom Core. This is an Earth Rock Link 2 Link monster with 1450 attack, and the link points are the bottom left and the bottom right. It requires 2 gem monsters. Its effect is the first and second effects of this card's name can only each be used once per turn. 1. If this card is link summoned, you can add 1 Gem Knight card from your deck to your hand. 2. You can pay 1000 life points, fusion summon 1 Gem Knight monster from your extra deck by shuffling fusion materials listed on it that are in your graveyard and or among your banished cards into your deck, and if you do, the summoned monster cannot attack directly this turn. The attack stat is weak. It won't survive for very long unless you can protect it. The requirements are necessary to make it specific to the deck. As for the first effect, it is a one-time search, which can be effective if you have a couple of the cards necessary to make a fusion monster, but not that final card. As for the second effect, this acts like a much stronger version of what the Shadow Link monster could do. This lets you access cards that are in your graveyard and banish cards to the deck to bring it out. This works well in the deck as some of them have banish effects, and if it has been a long duel, then be prepared to have a lot of your Gem Knights resting there in the graveyard. The downside of this card is it should really have been able to fuse from your field and hand as well, considering that you have to pay life points to activate this effect, and you're under the stipulation that the summoned monster cannot attack directly within the same turn. This was needed in the deck to provide some consistency as they have multiple fusions and to enable them to bring out the fusions that they tend to rely on the most. As for the reprints, we'll start off with Gladiator Beast Geyserus. This is a Dark Winged Beast level 6 with 2400 attack and 1500 defense. And it requires a Gladiator Beast Bestiary and a Gladiator Beast monster. Its effect is must first be special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling the above cards you control into the deck. You do not use polymerization. When this card is special summoned, you can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy those targets. At the end of the battle phase, if this card battled, you can return it to the extra deck to special summon 2 Gladiator Beast monsters from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Bestiary. This card can destroy cards and can tag out for 2 Gladiator Beasts when it battles. The next card is Gladiator Beast Bestiary. This is a Winged Beast level 4 with 1500 attack and 800 defense, and its effect is, if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, target 1 spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it into the deck, special summon 1 Gladiator Beast monster from your deck, except Gladiator Beast Bestiary. This card can get rid of a back row card, and is the key card to get out Geyserus. This was released in Gladiator's Assault as a common, and Geyserus was in Light of Destruction. This was around 9 to 10 years ago, and the final release was in Astral Pack 7 as a common on the 4th of June 2015. This was a couple of years ago, and so would have needed the reprint. The next reprints are Gem Knight Fusion. This is a normal spell card that says Fusion summon 1 Gem Knight Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 Gem Knight monster from your graveyard, add this card to your hand. This is your go-to fusion card. It was released in Hidden Arsenal 5 Steel Swarm Invasion as a super rare on the 1st of December 2011, and its last release was in Shatterfoil Rare in Star Pack Arc 5 on the 12th of June 2015, so this was 2 years ago. The next card is Gem Knight Seraphonite. This is an Earth Fairy Fusion level 5 with 2300 attack and 1400 defense, and it requires a Gem Knight monster and a light monster. Its effects must first be fusion summoned with the above fusion material monsters. During your main phase, you can normal summon or set one monster in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. This permits an additional summon per turn. This is meant to turn your Geminis into an effect monster by summoning it twice within the same turn, but it has been abused for its generic ability for any deck to run it, provided they have the required cards, of course. This card has been released as a super rare in Hidden Arsenal Knight of Stars on the 26th of April 2013. This is over 4.5 years, and by that logic would need the reprint. The next card is Mermail Abyss Megalo. This is a Water Sea Serpent level 7 with 2400 attack and 1900 defense, and its effect is you can discard 2 other water monsters to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. When you do, you can add 1 Abyss spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You contribute 1 other face-up attack position water monster. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. This card can summon itself quickly, as well as search for a specific type of back row card. It can end games as it can attack twice within a turn. Its first release was as a secret rare in Abyss Rising on the 9th of November 2012, and its reprint was as a rare in Battle Pack 2 War of the Giants on the 28th of June 2013. This has had almost 4.5 years since its last release. The next card is Atlantean Heavy Infantry. This is a Water Sea Serpent level 2 with 0 attack and 1600 defense, and its effect is during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 level 4 or lower Sea Serpent type monster, in addition to your normal summon or set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. When this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, destroy that target. This card provides an additional summon and can get rid of a face-up card when used to trigger a water monster's effect. This was released as a common in Realm of the Sea Emperor structure deck on the 11th of October 2012, and as a super rare in Astral Pack 2 on the 19th of April 2013. This is 4.5 years ago. The next card is El Shadowwinder. This is a dark spellcaster level 5 with 2200 attack and 800 defense, and it requires a shadow monster and a dark monster. Its effect is must first be fusion summoned, cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. Each player can only special summon a monster or monsters once per turn, while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 shadow spell or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This card protects itself from your opponent's effects and restricts each player to only the 1 special summon per turn. The ability to search for a back row card is also useful when it goes to the graveyard. This card is currently banned, and I wonder whether this would take it off the ban list or to at least limit it. It was an ultra rare in Duelist Alliance, its first release on the 14th of August 2014, and it had another release in its latest release as an ultra rare in the Megatin 2015 on the 17th of September 2015. This was 2 years ago. The next card is El Shadow Shekinaga. This is an Earth Machine Fusion level 10 with 2600 attack and 3000 defense, and it requires a Shadow monster and an Earth monster. Its effect is must first be fusion summoned, during either player's turn when a special summoned monster activates its effect. While you have a Shadow card in your hand, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. Then send one Shadow card from your hand to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of El Shadow Shekinaga once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Shadow spell or trap card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. This card is able to prevent your opponent's special summoned monsters from activating their effects, which will include the extra deck monsters, as well as destroy the monster responsible for it stopping your opponent's combos. This card was released as a secret rare in the new Challengers on the 6th of November 2014, and as a reprint as a secret rare in the Mega Tin 2015 on the 17th of September 2015. This card was difficult to get, so in that case it deserves the reprint. The next card is Heretic Dragon King of Atum. This is a light Dragon Xyz monster, rank 6 with 2400 attack and 2100 defense, and requires 2 level 6 Dragon type monsters. Its effect is, once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, special summon one Dragon type monster from your deck, and make its attack and defense 0. This card cannot attack during the turn you activate this effect. This card can enable you to bring out a dragon from the deck, which can be used for a further Xyz summon or as a tribute for another card. The card summoned by this effect should be used, otherwise you risk taking a lot of piercing battle damage from your opponent's monsters. This has only had the one print in Galactic Overlord as a super rare on the 28th of April 2012. This is almost 5.5 years ago, and out of everything needed the reprint very desperately. This card is Heretic Dragon of Tefnuit. This is a light dragon level 6 with 2100 attack and 1400 defense. And its effect is, your opponent controls a monster. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. This card cannot attack during the turn it is special summoned this way. When this card is tributed, special summon one dragon type normal monster from your hand, deck or graveyard. Also make its attack and defense 0. This card can special summon itself, making it an easy rank 6 card, as well as being able to replace itself when attributed for a further Xyz summon. This card was released as a rare in the Galactic Overlord on the 28th of April 2012, but unlike Atum, it got a reprint as a common in the Saga of Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck on the 12th of September 2013. Though this was a structure deck guaranteeing getting it, this was still 4 years. The next card is Cleathorpe Scout. This is an Earth Machine Pendulum, level 5 with a pendulum scale of 9 and 1000 attack and 2800 defense. And its effect is, Pendulum effect, you cannot special summon monsters except Klee monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can pay 800 life points, add one Klee card from your deck to your hand, except Cleathorpe Scout. This card is the main searcher for the deck and can consistently let you get the cards you need for the time. The only downside being that you can end up spending life points very quickly within the duel. It does not have a monster effect, but its pendulum effect makes up significantly for that. This was released as an ultra rare in the new Challengers on the 6th of November 2014, and its latest release was as a super rare in Pendulum Evolution on the 22nd of June 2017. This is one of the most recent release of any cards mentioned so far, and so does need one, as being a super rare makes it difficult to come across. The next card is Cleathorpe Disc. This is an Earth Machine Pendulum level 7 with a scale of 1 with 2800 attack and 1000 defense. And its effect is, Pendulum effect, you cannot special summon monsters except Klee monsters. This effect cannot be negated. All Klee monsters you control gain 300 attack. Monster effect, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is normal summoned without tributing or is special summoned, its level becomes 4 and its original attack becomes 1800. If this card is normal summoned or set, it is unaffected by activated effects from any monster whose original level or rank is lower than this card's current level. When this card is tribute summoned by tributing a Klee monster or monsters, you can special summon 2 Klee monsters from your deck, but destroy them during the end phase. The pendulum effect only lets you pendulum summon other Klee monsters, but the attack increase is decent. As for the monster effect, it can be summoned with 1800 attack, and as a level 4 if you need to, and makes it more versatile than a lot of archetypes, as they won't give you the option in how they are summoned. This lets you decide, if you don't have a pendulum scale to work with, to bring this out without potentially bricking your hand. Though it does provide more advantage when pendulum summoned, as monsters with a level or rank lower than this card cannot do anything, so anything under 7 cannot use their effects against this card. This, when tributed, can bring out 2 Klee monsters to use to bring out your boss monster, which is one of the Apophlicort cards. This card was released as a secret rare in the new challenges on the 6th of April 2014, and as a secret rare in the 2015 Megatin on the 17th of September 2015. This needed the reprint due to the rarity being difficult to get. The next card is Aroma Garden. This is a field spell card that says, once per turn, if you control an aroma monster, you can gain 500 life points. Also, all monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's next turn, even if this card leaves the field. If a face-up aroma monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, gain 1000 life points. This card can get your life points to above your opponent's very consistently, which is needed to use the additional effects that the aroma monsters possess. This card was released as a common in Clash of Rebellions on the 6th of August 2015, and as a common in the 2016 Megatin on the 1st of September 2016. This did not need the reprint. Being a common means you will have multiple copies of these. The next card is Humid Winds. This is a continuous trap card that says you can pay 1000 life points to add 1 aroma monster from your deck to your hand. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can gain 500 life points. You can only use each effect of Humid Winds once per turn. This card allows for consistent searching of your aroma monsters, as well as providing a life point increase if your life points become lower than your opponent's. This was released in the same sets as the Aroma Garden, and so doesn't need the... The next card is Kriston Quandats. This is a water machine synchro tuner level 4 with 1800 attack and 2000 defense, and requires a tuner and 1 or more non-tuner. Its effect is during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon 1 synchro monster using materials including this card you control. This is a quick effect. If this synchro monster using materials, including if this synchro summoned card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 Kriston monster in your graveyard except a synchro monster, special summon it. This card is able to go into a further synchro in response to your opponent's turn. If they bring out something very strong, you can tune this for something just as good. It can also replace itself when destroyed to bring out a Kriston from the graveyard to the hand. This card was an ultra rare within Invasion Vengeance on the 3rd of November 2016. This was a year ago, but there is the argument that the rarity made it difficult to get. The last card is Kriston Citri. This is a water machine tuner level 2 with 500 attack and 500 defense. And its effect is, during your opponent's main phase or battle phase, you can target 1 non-tuner monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it has its effects negated, if any, and if you do, immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro summon one machine type Synchro monster using only that monster and this card. This is a quick effect. These Synchro materials are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Crystal and Citry once per turn. This card can bring out a Synchro on your opponent's turn to respond to what they are doing. This card was also released as an ultra rare in Invasion Vengeance on the 3rd of November 2016 and needs the reprint down to the rarity issue. What do you think of the new Gem Knights? Does it provide them with the consistency they need? What about the recovery effect? Does this mean that you Gem Knight players out there won't be running specific banish recovery cards, such as Burial from the Different Dimension? And what about the reprints? Which is your favourite? Personally, I like the Seraphonite, as that has been a costly card before, as well as the two Shadows fusions, as one of them is banned and is therefore hinting towards maybe a limiting rather than you cannot play this card at all. Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
And